Good Friday morning. Today's September 27th, 2024, and this is your Friday safety meeting. My name is Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department. He is Dave White. He also works in the safety department. We are located in the Z building, ground level, center of the room, right next to the pillar. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to stop by, and we'll do our best to answer your questions or get you pointed in the right direction. We are live here in Springfield, Missouri. We are simulcasting live to our other locations, Pittston, Pennsylvania, and Salt Lake City, Utah. And of course, we are live across the social. So welcome to our folks that are listening on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So at each of our locations, breakfast is free as always. So if you haven't jumped in line yet, go ahead and jump in line at each location, place an order, and they'll get you taken care of. John Blance and their team do a fantastic job, and same as we do every Friday, let's give them a round of applause just to say thank you. We appreciate the work that they do for us at all of the prime events, and especially on Friday morning. So let's go. Let's see who we got East first. I think we got Richard Brock. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
We got a little golf clap going on up there. Good morning.
You know what? We have a really big crowd this morning. Everything's going really well. We had a great orientation class this week. And you know what? Everybody's here and safe and ready to go. And I'll tell you, we got some of that rain coming through the East Coast. That's the big talk right now, all over social media and the news. And, if you guys, I'll just put a reminder out to you. If you are going into those storms, or you're going to be someplace where you don't feel safe, make sure you communicate that ahead of time to your fleet managers. Let them know so we can get with sales and work something out, find you a safe place to get to. As that rain continues to pass up through the Northeast, watch for flooding areas. If you can't see the road or it looks sketchy, make sure you're slowing down and watching your speed and your space management as you guys are coming up into those heavy traffic areas. Make sure you don't run into any issues there. Aside from that, Dennis, we don't have anything crazy going on right now. We're still waiting for the permit for the R&L property that was bought that's right next to the training pad, so we can start demoing that building down there and open up some more parking. But we'll be seeing that coming here in probably the next month. We should have that going and have some more space up here so that we have a safe haven for drivers to park.
Good deal. This is always a good running time of year. You've gotten through the summertime, kids are back in school, holidays are done, the company picnics are done. It's time to get out and make hay while the sun is shining. So thank you so much, Richard, for being with us. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're going to go out west. We got Jonathan Grice. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning. How are you guys today?
Doing fantastic.
Good deal. Well, just like Richard, we had a really good group in orientation this week. We're excited to get these futures started out here for these folks. I did want to give a couple shout outs real quick. So as Richard may have mentioned out in PA last week, we also have started doing some more diligent checks of trailers that come through our plaza to ensure that everybody's got locks on their trailers, regardless if it's loaded or empty. And so far this week, we've had 0 violations. So I wanted to give a shout out to our drivers for making sure that we're adding a little extra diligence and making sure that all of our equipment is secure. So thank you guys for that. Also wanted to mention, obviously we're into October, pretty close to, so winter weather is not too far away. If you guys want to take the PSC refresher class, kind of get your skills back on the top of your brain, that class is offered 7 days a week here in Utah. I know it is in Missouri as well, and I believe Monday through Friday in PA. So feel free to swing through, take that class, and hopefully you'll be set and ready to go for winter weather.
That's awesome information. You guys will probably see the white stuff a lot sooner than what we will. But, as we next week, we are into October. So it is here. Thanks a lot, Jonathan. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Right back here, Springfield, Missouri. Good morning, folks. On a melancholy faux fall morning, we wake up to 55-degree weather here in Springfield, but this afternoon it'll probably be close to 80. So we're in that time of year where you can get multiple seasons in a 12-hour period. So, and actually this is a great time of year to come into the trucking industry. You're going to get to see a lot of different weather patterns and kind of put that experience and that training into your war chest and make you just a better driver, and some parts of the country already we've got snow, we've got 80, 90-degree weather. We've got in the southeast tropical storm, Helene now coming up through Georgia, Kentucky, and making a hard left turn. Hopefully it'll go north of us, so we won't get to see it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to reach over to Springfield, but I know southeast Missouri, they're calling for a lot of rain, and up through Tennessee, and they're already getting it. So I know on the way down here, they said on the weather, it'd be expecting some tornadoes out in the Carolinas. So any of our drivers out there that are listening to this, if you're heading that way or you're down in that area, just a heads up, be paying attention to the weather. Just like Richard said, Richard knocked it out of the ballpark, man. That's why I like having our ops people involved, because they know what's going on and they monitor it. And if you have questions or concerns, get over your fleet manager. That's what they're there for. But, Dennis, I appreciate it. Last week, I actually had a week vacation you let me take, and you guys knocked it out of the ballpark on the safety side when you guys, for our Friday morning meeting, you and Johnny up here in the driver appreciation. But I actually had a chance. I was out west, and I took wife and I were out there vacationing out in Yellowstone, and we decided to take this Beartooth Highway. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of that, but it's a highway. It's about 12,000 feet in elevation, and get up there and to get back down. Bunch of switchbacks. You go back and forth, and you get a ways up there, man. You're looking out over the country. It's like it's a long ways down. And no, they don't allow tractor trailers up there. But the day we went up there, it was about 40-some degrees. And the next day, we're down in Yellowstone, and it was raining, and they actually closed the highway up there because of snow and ice. So it's already hitting, and I was surprised. I was like, wow, but at that high elevation, they shut down those highways up there because it's not safe for cars to go up there even. So, but yeah, just like Jonathan said too, snow, it's coming, man. It's going to be here before we know it. And those, especially the higher elevations going across to 80 and stuff, Wyoming, Utah, California, you're gonna hit it. So it's coming sooner than what we know. So just be prepared out there. Make sure you got your winter gear with you. You're good to go. If you're on the other side of the country out east, with the rains coming, beware. Just, and Richard said that too. Watch those flooded highways. You don't want to take a chance. Many times you're better off waiting 2, 4, 6 hours, let the storm go through, and then take off. So, you got any questions, concerns? Reach out to your fleet manager. You can reach out to safety too as well. But your fleet manager always needs to be in communication with you, so he knows what your plans are, and they can communicate that to the customer. So.
Sounds good. Of course, Dave, as always on Friday mornings, we've got new folks here. So I see a few yellow vests. That means we're growing at each of our locations. So if you're new here to Prime, this is your first week. If you would stand for us and give us the opportunity to properly welcome you to the team. Thank you guys so much. Welcome. We appreciate you being here with us. And, as we, Dave alluded to, this is a fantastic time of year to get into the trucking industry. Before you get on your own, you'll probably see some winter weather and get that done and be ready to go. So it's time for us to reinforce the captain of the ship mentality. Dave's good. I think I'm okay. Your fleet manager is probably even better than us, but none of us can tell you when it's safe enough to drive out on the road, no matter what the conditions are. If it's sunny and 65 or whether there's inclement weather where you are the captain of your ship. You determine when it's safe to operate. You determine if that equipment is safe to operate. The only thing that we ask, like Richard talked about, is that communication factor. Let us know what's going on. And in 2024, that could mean a number of different things. That means potentially sharing pictures. You can FaceTime. You can, soon you'll have that geotab thing that'll take pictures. That'll get right into our system. There shouldn't be any excuse for the communication not to be there. In this day and age, you got so many avenues that you can communicate with various departments, especially your fleet manager here in the building. So.
Yeah, make sure too, you always communicate and you know your road assist person, your log person, your payroll person. I mean, those are people that are paying you. I know my payroll person in-house because that's important, man. Something's not right, you can go there and fix it. And that's what it's about right there. So, have those open lines of communication because that's what's going to make you successful here, and get to know your people as well. They're just like you and us. We're all human. We like to know each other, put a face to a name, and that's awesome. So don't be a stranger. The more you reach out, the more you communicate with people, the more comfortable you're going to feel. And I really think it's going to transition over into more successful you're going to be here at Prime 2 as well. So, but love having you all, and especially to all of our new folks out there. Thank you for joining on the Prime. Thank you for coming here. If you're training, like Dennis said, this is the best time of year to start training right here, because you're going to get the snow and ice, you're going to get the bad weather sometimes, and our trainers are top notch, and that's what it's about. And when you can get that experience running as a second seat, that's the best way to learn, not on your own when the first time and you're like, oh boy, it's starting to snow, now what do I do? And I'm from southern Texas or something, so with the trainer is the way to go. So, but thank you for signing on. We appreciate y'all. And, what do we got next, buddy?
Let's talk about some inspections this week.
Let's do it. So I don't know who did the inspections this week. I was gone, man. Harden. Okay. So Johnny did the inspections, and we had 161 total, 44 violations. 117 on the clean side, so a 73% clean rate. So another great job, another way to go. Give yourself a round of applause. 73%, that's awesome. This past week too, we paid out $12,125 too on clean inspections. That's the highest we've ever paid out. So give yourselves another round of applause. We love paying on clean inspections. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's where the rubber meets the road, and those inspections are so important on our CSA scores, and we got to continue improving on that side of it, and we will. And but clean inspections, $100 for independent operator or owner op, $25 to company drivers. So they do pay for you, and that's great, and appreciate everything you guys did this past week, and let's continue it on.
We had a really good week. We did have some missteps, so 73%, in an academic world, we kind of grade on a curve. 73% for us is A work. That's A+ work. That's fantastic work by the fleet this week. So thank you. Let's keep that up. Let's keep giving those 70+% weeks, but, we'd be remiss if we didn't look at that other portion where we did have some challenges. This week we saw an inspection, Dave, you probably don't quite know about this one. Guy picked up 72 CSA points for us in one fell swoop. Just went in, and he's like a walking CSA disaster, but he handheld device, that's the trigger, speeding, restricted lane, and over on his logs. Man, I don't know what else you can do to pull the CSA metric down for us, but these are the type of things that we have to deal with. These are the type of things that we have to acknowledge and coach against. Guys, put the phone down. I know a lot of us have transitioned to the point of life where we're just so reliant on it to take care of so many things. But believe it or not, there are folks in this room that worked here, that have worked there a long time, that cell phones didn't exist back when they started working here. Yet they were still able to pick up and deliver on time. Yet they were still able to do it safely. Yet they were still able to navigate exactly where they needed to go without using that while they were driving. Sure, it's a great tool. I get it. I love it. I love mine too. But it's not a necessity for you to use it while you're driving. Of course, my other pet peeve is the seatbelt. Again, just because you don't wear your seatbelt properly or at all, it doesn't make you a bad driver. It doesn't make you an unsafe driver. It does make you non-compliant. And it does make it easy for law enforcement to see you and pull you over and open up the book on anything else you got going on. Those things like that, the speeding, the seatbelts, they can see you with the phone, or they can see the reflection, especially at night, of what you got going on in your tablet. That's an easy way for law enforcement to pull you over and just rack up whatever they want. You can't find your paper logbook. You know, you don't know that it's right there. I mean, just so many different little things that you're going to get written up for if we had just done what we were supposed to do on the front end, we would be okay. But, you know, again, that's the minority. So many prime drivers, and I'm going to use the simple 80-20 rule. 80% of our folks are fantastic drivers. They don't need Dave or I except to hand out some awards a couple times a year, you know, but the reality is that 20% are why Dave and I have jobs. That's why we're here. That's why we need to hopefully turn a few folks in that 20% range over into that 80% range. And that's what makes us a fantastic company.
And we want to see you all successful at the end of the day. That's what it's about. No accidents, no violations on inspections. Everybody's getting clean inspections. The more money you make, hey, that's what it's about. That's what we're here for, really, at the end of the day. We want a job and want to be able to make money and be able to provide for our families, and that's what this is about. But, you know, and we need to correct some behaviors. That's what we work on in safety. That's what we do. And some people need more loving than others, and that's fine too. But we just want everybody successful here and everybody safe at the end of the day. So
72 points in one night. That's like Kobe Bryant status.
Well, and like you said, Dennis, it's a give me. You know what I mean? If you got a cell phone up, officers aren't going to forgive cell phones in commercial vehicles. They know that. You know, if you're going maybe 3 miles over the speed limit, okay, he's a truck. He runs a lot of miles. But man, that cell phone, no seatbelt, those things are just automatics. And that's what it is right there. And that's what drives it. So, you know, watch what you're doing out there. Be safe, you know, and even watch your speed limit. I know I said 3 or 4 miles over the speed limit, but some officers, they're going to stop you on that because you know what they can. You know, Indiana's got probable cause. In order to do an inspection, they got to pull you. You got to have a reason, you know what I mean? And now the officer's looking for something. So I have seen 1 to 5 mile an hour over speeding, and that's what starts the inspection. And like Dennis says, you know, that leads to everything else. So, you know, pay attention out there, watch those inspections, do proper pre-trips, and just be respectful of others. And that's what it's about right there. So,
hey, you rambled for 23 minutes.
I know, that's not me. Last week you took the blame. This week I'll take it.
All right. Down in logs, come on up. We got a great meeting planned for you guys today. Tons of information. It's going to start off with a little bit of compliance. Donna Eckert, our law department. Good morning.
Morning, everybody. Donna from the law department. All right, so Dennis and Dave were just talking about our inspections. Part of that is being successful in getting through the inspection, and that's knowing where to go for the information that the officer is requesting and where to keep it. So the paper logbook beside your permit book has to be kept within arm's reach, and the reason for that is you can't take your seatbelt off. So seatbelt must remain on at all times. Make sure your paperwork and your permit book is reachable. So the paper logbook is going to represent 2 things for you. Okay. Number 1, you always have to have a backup plan as a driver. That Qualcomm goes out, you got to have a way of recording the record of duty status. So that's what this book is going to be for. The graphs are going to be used to record your statuses, keep track of your hours, your locations, and all your information. Okay. The secondary is going to be the instruction sheet that's located in the back of your paper logbook. So you may not know how to get the information, but it's all right here. This is an open book test, basically. So the instructions are at the bottom of the page. It's going to tell you exactly where to go in the Qualcomm unit in order to pull the information and provide it for the officer. So one of the main things we do see, or violations we've been receiving, is not knowing how to transmit your logs to an officer, okay? So if you look at the back of the instruction book, there's 2 sets of instructions. The inspector mode will tell you how to pull up your logs so he can conduct a compliancy review. The second set of instructions to the left are going to be how to transmit your HOS records. Now, all of this is going to be done in your Qualcomm unit. So first off, you're going to select the HOS app on the main page of your Qualcomm. Once you're there, you're going to go to the tab at the top that says Day Log, okay? Once you're on the Day Log tab, The instructions will tell you at the bottom of the page, you're going to see your three main buttons. The ERODS button, your inspector button, and your driver button, okay, your header button. So first, select the ERODS button at the bottom. Once you have that selected, it's going to pull up, and if you look at the PowerPoint at the top, you'll select the ERODS button at the bottom, and then next slide, you're going to see your file transfer page. Once you get to the file transfer page, this is where you're going to send the logs to the officer. Now, on the left-hand side, if you can see, there are two transfer methods. One is going to be web services, and the other is going to be through email. Now, the officer is going to either give you the information, or you're going to have to ask them, how would you like me to send them? If you are given an email address, you'll select the email option. If you're given a code or a badge number, that's going to reference to select the web service option. Once you've selected the option, go to your comment box, type the email address, the code or the badge number, take your keyboard away and hit send. This will transmit the logs. You will also receive a prompt that your logs are being transferred and a secondary prompt when the logs have been received by the officer. Now, in certain locations, signal can be bad. We've had these issues. If you're having an issue, the officer says he's not receiving your logs, definitely contact your log advisor. Let the officer know that you have a department you can contact, okay, a point of contact. We can help transmit the logs for you if there's an issue, okay? Another item with the DOT inspections is, what happens if I realize I don't have my paper logbook on the truck? Your immediate response is to get to any truck stop to pick up a paper logbook. However, with it not being a fine paper logbook, you will not have the instruction sheet in the back. So there are other backup ways of getting that information. If you go to your Prime app, you can go to your hours of service. Under the hours of service, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, you're going to see the word instruction sheet and user manual. Okay, select those words. You'll pull up your instruction sheet and the user manual. If you go to the documents section of your Prime app, you can also locate your instruction sheet and your user manual, or you can just reach, okay? Inside your permit book, there will be a copy of the instruction sheet, as well as if you've been here recently in the past couple of months, Permits has actually been stapling 4 pages, which will contain 8 graphs, the maximum allowance to paper log on, in the permit book, okay? But again, if you have any questions regarding an inspection or you're having issues, you can always contact the log department for assistance. Anybody have any questions? No? Okay. And of course, you know that if you need any training or you just want a refresher on hours of service, we do provide classes Monday through Friday at each one of our terminals, Salt Lake, Pittston, and of course, Springfield. Classes will be in the Monday through Friday. Ours is in the multi-purpose room if you want to stop by today. 1330 Springfield, 1230 Salt Lake, 1430 in Pittston.
All right. Thank you so much, Donna.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. Have a good weekend.
Knocked it out of the ballpark, man.
Man,
She did good.
she did good. It's not always an easy topic to get up and talk about, especially as we transition to new equipment. There's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but you know, as we've always done, we'll persevere through it. Who do we got next?
Next, we got driver health and fitness. We have Mr. Colby, and he's wearing his Knicks outfit too, Dennis. This is like, I think we got a few of them this morning. Will be showing some Knicks stuff.
Yeah, it's red. That's it. Can I borrow this for a second?
Morning, Colby.
Good morning. How are you guys? So, hey, everybody. Good morning. So I'm Colby, the driver health and fitness. Every week we usually have we're doing a health tip or different things. Last week we talked about stress management. This week I just want to take a couple minutes or a minute and talk about the challenge we have coming up. So we always try to do a couple things a year. This year, and you can see on here, we have our walking club, and this is for you guys. You can always get on there, use your driver code, and log your miles. But in the month of October, starting on Tuesday, October 1st, what we're going to have is you guys can get on and log your miles. Whoever at the end of the month, we'll have it populated on our website, driverhealthfitness.com. You guys can get on there, log. Throughout the month, we'll just kind of keep track, and whoever logs the most miles will win a prize. Who also will log, why is it being odd. Whoever logs the most times in the month will also win because we're always about creating habits, right? So in this instance, even if you don't log the most miles, but you log the most times, it's only most you can do is once a month or once a day. You'll also win the prize. So you just go to our website, driverhealthfitness.com, click on log your miles. Once you click on there, it'll scroll to the bottom and then you can enter there first, last name. When you get into the one where it says driver code, make sure you always put in the exact. So if you do full caps or you do lowercase, whatever, because it's just not intelligent enough to be like, hey, it reads your code. So if you did uppercase one time and lowercase the next, it'll be opposite. It'll be separate. So always do the same. Then when it says choose a file, that's what you guys do. If you use on the first one I had is if you have an iPhone, here's an iPhone. If you go to like your health app, and then in there, just kind of click, it says show all, go to your walking miles. And you can see the 3.5 miles, that's one day. So that you would just screenshot that far right one and then attach that file. Real easy to do. The next slide is if you're an Android. Android, you guys, your Samsung has the health app, same thing there. And then you would click on it, it would tell you there, it's got how many miles you walked in the bottom right there. Screenshot that. Real easy. Anybody here that ever logged miles? Any drivers that, yeah, I saw somebody here that did, but any other locations? Because I'd love for a driver to tell everybody else it's really that simple. Anybody here? We got somebody over here. Do you mind sharing real quick? Get a microphone. You don't have to get up here, but just tell us. I just want drivers to know how simple it really is.
Yeah, it's not hard at all. I have an iPhone and I just leave the web page open all the time and you don't even have to refresh it after you log in. And it's literally first name, last name, driver code, miles, picture, done.
Awesome. Love it. And it is that simple. I would say 20 seconds maybe. And the one thing about it is we're trying to do is when you get on there, it kind of shows you there, kind of attach the file and it'll tell you after the fact. What I love about it though, is that how fast you can do it. But that's why I have in there, it's not just the amount of miles walked. So if you're a person that walks a lot, you have a chance to win it based on how many miles you do. But if you're a person that it can be consistent and do it daily, you have a very good chance of winning on the consistent amount of entries. So the other thing we'll do is, and I challenge each one of you, if you log miles every day, there's 31 days in October, we will have a prize for every single person that does that. So if we get 25, 30, 40 drivers to do that, we'll have a prize for each of you, and then there'll be a grand prize there too. So, okay. So look for our socials. We'll send some stuff out about that, but I appreciate you sharing that too. It's really that simple. So any questions for me? Good luck. Have fun with it. All right.
Uh-oh, you did? That means it's all me. Are you jealous?
No,
Oh, okay.
figured it out. I think it may have been user error. Sorry. Oh, it was,
Ooh.
it's
It's
Brienne.
No, I think she's pointing to Richard.
She's fighting to herself.
Oh, was it Brienne?
It was
Okay.
Brienne. We were fighting this week, so she had to get back at me. So, but we live in a world where sometimes when you're successful, or even if you're not, people want to do damage to the things that you do and the things that you have. And we've seen a rash of that over the last couple of weeks. And it's not just unique to Prime, it's across the trucking industry. So we're going to have Director of Corporate Security, Bill Bainey, come up and talk about what we've seen here and maybe how to protect yourself against it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. So my name is Bill, I'm with the Security Department. Over like the last 2 weeks, we've had several reports from drivers. And the last one was done in, I think it was Holland or Denmark, Tennessee, this last Wednesday. He got up, he'd been sleeping all night, got up, and he had all of his driver's side tires were punctured. Apparently there's a group of people out there who decided that this is a great thing to do. And apparently this week they got 53 tractors this week alone down in that area. The week before we had one, I think it was in Texas, where they actually got hit. So it's happening out there across the board. I mean, the unfortunate thing is, guys, there's not a lot that the truck stop's going to be able to do because, you know, cameras can only do so much. No way you're going to see between tractors and trailers and people bending down. You're just not going to be able to capture everything. So, you know, you've got to be really diligent taking care of this stuff yourself. You know, if you park someplace, always park in a well-lit area. Try to park at the front of the truck stop, not at the back of the truck stop, because unfortunately, if you're parking in the back of the truck stop, that's where the bad things happen. You know, if you're gonna have a truck getting broken into, it's gonna happen in the back of the truck stop, not so much in the front. So always remember, take your little safety precautions, try to park underneath a light if you can. Just do the little things. And by all means, if you see something that's not right, if you see a group of people walking through that don't look like they're drivers or there's something no good, say something. Call the police, call the security at the truck stop, call the truck stop management. Just do something to be proactive. You know, it's a great time, and Brianne's pulled up this report. This is a report for August of 2024 of cargo thefts. And I don't know if you can see these numbers, but you can see if August was broken down in the month, and you can see the highlighted days where the cargo thefts are taking place. Really, guys, it's happening almost every day of the week. I mean, it is just happening every day of the week. And you can also see where they're happening at. You got some up in New York, you got a bunch out in California, you got some down there in Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas area, and then you got some right there in Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, right now, if you look at the states, you got California's number one. And the really weird part is that I think it's Tennessee is number two, if I'm not mistaken, looking at that. Tennessee never used to be on this in the top five. Never. But Memphis has gotten so bad down there of cargo thefts that it has just skyrocketed up to number two in the nation of cargo thefts. So we've got to be really diligent. Can you get the last one, Bree? And guys, here's a really strange part. If you look to see what's being stolen right now, electronics is number one. It used to always be food and drink. Food and drink is way down the list now. Electronics, you got household goods. If you're a flatbedder right now, what do we have down in Florida happening? We got the hurricane, right? What are they going to start stealing now? Asphalt shingles. So if you're hauling asphalt shingles, make sure you've got this stuff insecured. And the last chart I wanted to show you was the time of day that they're occurring. 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock is our highest rate of time. Makes sense, you're sleeping, right? Trucks stop. 7 o'clock in the morning is another one that kind of got me. I'm trying to think, why 7 o'clock in the morning? The only thing I could figure out is that people are taking a break to go have breakfast. Truck stopped again. And then the last one, I think it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 4 o'clock in the afternoon is not one that gets me. Maybe people are breaking again for dinner. So the thieves are opportunistic, and they always look for the easiest times. And if you're at a truck stop where most of these are occurring at, that's where they're going to hit you. The last thing I wanted to show you was we have decided on our new trailers going forward that we're going to switch over the hasp on the back. Currently, we've got that hasp that's up in the middle on our trailers. And I know I get a lot of complaints from the drivers saying, you know, that's great, but man, every time I get there, it's bent. I can't get my lock through it. It's really a pain in the ass to try to get together. So we're going to switch over to this device. It's going to be put over on the right-hand door, going to cover up the door handle and also cover up the seal. Your lock will go on the bottom as this lock is. Any alloy will work. We're asking you to use the alloy, but we're asking as your alloy wears out or gets bad that you turn around and you buy this new alloy. It's a 342. They'll have it in the company store. It's got some coverings on the shank, which will prevent the thieves from being able to get their grinders in on it and cut it off easier. So look forward to this on all the new trailers coming out. If you've got any questions, I'll be available after the meeting. Thank you.
Dennis, I think you got cut off again, man. I heard you a little bit, but man, I know, man. I thought we used to do this to Paul Higgins, but maybe you're joining in his ranks now. No, no, but anyway, Bill's right on, be aware of your surroundings when you get into these areas. If you could stay away from certain areas like, West Memphis and Memphis, Tennessee area, not stop there, maybe pick another truck stop at 100 miles down or 80 miles down the road. Maybe your best bet, but always be aware of your surroundings and keep an eye on things. If you're teaming, hey, one of you just get out every once in a while, walk around the truck if you can, and just right there. Because if I'm right, Bill, very seldom is it ever, the driver's involved, right? It's you know, it's a crime that they don't want to get involved with you. They want to stay away from a driver. They just want an opportunistic, you know, an opportunity to get in there and get something out of the back of your trailer. And that's what they're looking for right there. So one of those situations, did she turn you back on yet?
I think I'm back on, but
There you
you know,
go.
and I'll say this, you know, with the hurricane coming up through, flatbed folks, shingles, beware. They're you know, folks are looking to steal, to circumvent, putting some new roofs on some houses. So
So building materials comes in handy this time of year down there, and it will.
it does.
So,
It
yep.
does. So last week we had the Driver Appreciation Friday, which is always a popular Friday. Everybody wants to speak on that Friday, so unfortunately we had to kick some folks off of the lineup last week. So it actually worked out in our favor. One of the folks we booted last week, I think is much needed today. We're, you know, nothing against security, Bill, but man, you're so depressing talking about people stealing our stuff. You know, it's not the most exciting topic. So we've got one of my favorite speakers coming up. She's going to bring a ton of energy to the meeting. I think it's going to change the trajectory of where we're going here. This is Audra Hill from our payroll department. Good morning, Audra.
Good morning. Woo. Well, I guess we got to do this, guys. He is correct. I'm Audra Hill. I am part of the payroll department. You know, payroll has been up here a couple of times over the past few months, just talking about different things. But let me tell you, by far, this is going to be my favorite subject to ever talk about. So he is right. Last week we highlighted Driver Appreciation Week. Of course, we appreciate you guys every single week. Safety, number one, always and forever. Service, obviously, very high up there. Got to keep our customers happy. So on the payroll end of things, the things that we're grateful for may not look like the most glamorous parts of your job, but it seriously is so much of our world because you guys are really great at being diligent, making sure you're taking the extra time, double checking, you have all of the paperwork. You know, you're in a hurry, you're rushed, but you make sure you get those receipts, you make sure that you're getting signatures, everything like that. And I get shaky because I talk so fast and forget to breathe. So I'm going to try to do better this time. Okay. So, you know, we're really grateful when you guys scan in your paperwork quickly. We see you guys are scanning it in at 1 and 2 a.m. in the morning when you're tired and you want to be done for your day and you just want to go to bed. You know, we really appreciate that because we pay over 10,000 drivers every single week. And how many payroll associates do you guys think that we have? Don't be shy, just yell it out. Anybody? How many? 20. That would be nice. And 10? Okay, well, we're not miracle workers. So good guess though, good guess. We have 14 payroll associates who process trips, who put together your payroll every single week. And the only way we can service 10,000 drivers is because you guys are so great at staying on top of it, making sure that that whole process runs really smooth. Now, on the personal side of things, I've been here almost 6 years next month. You know, I'm a single mom. I've been a single mom for, oh no, I thought I'd get further before the tears came. Dang it. Okay, well, I'm a really ugly crier, so we're just gonna have to get through this together. Sorry guys, buckle up. Okay, so, you know, before coming here, I worked really, really hard, but just not making ends meet. I get this life-changing opportunity to be a part of this world. And, you know, I got here and I had, like a 5 to 10 year life plan, right? And in very true prime fashion, that quickly became, you know, 1 to 2 years of reality, and those goals are getting met. And the more I got to know my drivers and the more I talked with them, the more that I found out that my prime story isn't unique, that we all have a prime story. And, you know, you guys who are just joining us, you are going to cultivate your own prime success story. And it is such a privilege that we get to be a part of that. And, you know, appreciation for you doesn't stop when we walk outside of this building, right? It continues when we can go to the grocery store, when we're safe and we're secure at night, you know, when your kiddo gets to take karate lessons and does something for the first time in his life. Also, you guys are really smart and probably know what karate is. So I don't know why you guys needed that demonstration, but in case you did, there you go. My son would say that's not karate, but seriously, you guys are everything. You guys are our bread and butter, steak and potato. You know, you guys are our backbone and you guys are our heart. And I don't know if you know this, but we don't have a side gig. Like, we don't have a backup plan here because you guys are it. But we don't need a backup plan because you guys are it. And so, you know, as somebody who might sometimes occasionally tend to, you know, be a little long-winded, I quickly lose my words because thank you isn't enough. And that, like, it just falls short in the sea of gratitude that we feel for you guys because your success is our success. And the only reason we have a career here is because you guys chose to have a career here. So we appreciate you guys. You know, you're away from your homes, so I can be at home with my kiddo every night, doing homework every night. But seriously, truest, sincerest, deepest gratitude, love, and appreciation for you all. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody watching, not watching, thank you. We love you guys. I made it. I made it without complete breakdown.
Awesome.
Why don't you have that type of enthusiasm?
Man, she even hit a safety message in there. Buckle up. I love it.
Man.
That was right on. She did awesome.
You know, sometimes people are right where they need to be at the exact time that they need to be there. And I say that about Audra. You know, me and Dave kind of looked at each other when the tears started rolling and said, oh man, where we going here? But it turned out so well. Let's give her another round of applause. Thank you so much. And you know, she's so right. Everybody here has a unique prime story about, you know, why or when and how they got here. And one of these weeks we'll have Dave tell his, but not today. So, but we'll keep it moving. We got Trent Ferris, and sorry, Trent, that's a real tough act to follow here. Let's see if you can conjure up some tears and be emotional for us, right?
I'm not a crier, but I'll do my best.
All right. Good morning, Trent.
Good morning, everyone. So, you know, it's nice out right now, but it's not going to stay nice for much longer. The best time to start preparing for this cold weather that we're going to see in another month or two is right now. Late summer, early fall time, you want to start making sure that your truck is ready for this cold temperature that you're going to see here in a few weeks. So I want to inform you all that we have a package here at our shops that we'll look your truck over and cover any issues that we need to take care of before the cold gets here. I want to go over the things that we look at when we do the winter prep package here at our terminals. First thing we do is we load test your batteries. Your batteries are going to die at some point, and they're most prone to die when it gets really cold out. They're going to be under the most stress in that cold. So we check the batteries and make sure they're going to be okay all winter. Next, we check the freeze point on the coolant. You know, depending on what's been added into the coolant, it may not have the freeze point low enough where it needs to be. So we'll make sure that it's going to stay liquid no matter how cold it gets. We're also going to drain all the moisture out of your air system. And that's really, really important. Obviously, if you have water in your air system, it's going to cause corrosion and cause problems there. But when it gets cold out, it's going to freeze, and you're going to have component failures with that frozen water in the air system. And the last thing we do, this is probably the most important for you all, is we do a PM on your bunk heater. We make sure that bunk heater is all cleaned out and it's not going to have any issues when it gets cold out and you need to fire it up. So I highly encourage all of you to get through or come to a terminal, get a hold of one of the shops and come in to get this done. You can also get a hold of Road Assist if you want to get more info on more details on this. A couple things I want to talk about. I just hit on draining your air tanks. We do that as part of the winter prep package. We make sure all the moisture is gone. But this should already be something that you're doing every day. As a part of your daily routine towards the end of your driving day, it's a great idea to make sure you're draining the water out of that air tank. You're going to get a little moisture build up, and if you don't get that done, it's going to wind up causing a problem at some point. Next thing is you want to turn your bunk heater on right now. Again, this is something that we look at really closely when we do the winter prep package, but if you're not coming in to get that done, now is the time to run that bunk heater and make sure that it doesn't have any issues. So turn it on, run it for a couple hours. The last thing that I want to hit on, and we've already hit on this a couple of times in the past weeks, and I'm sure we'll hit on it a lot more in the coming weeks, but anti-gel. So we have a product here at our terminals that is much, much, much cheaper than you're going to find out there on the road. So stock up on it when you come through a terminal. Make sure you get some anti-gel here, save some money. But more importantly, you want to make sure you're using it correctly. So read the instructions on the bottle. Different anti-gels work a little bit differently. So just follow the instructions on the bottle of anti-gel that you're using. It's a diesel additive, so you're dumping it in the fuel tank with the diesel fuel as you're fueling up. And it lowers the freeze point, but it's important to know that it's not just one and done. Depending on how cold it gets, as it gets colder and colder, you'll need to add more and more anti-gel. We do a lot of videos, so and there's also a class that we have every day here at our terminal that we go over all this stuff with. So Pro Maintenance is every day here in Springfield and Thursdays at Pittston and Salt Lake. Encourage you to come check that out, and we'll go over a lot more of this in a lot more detail. But we also have videos, like I mentioned. They're on the driver app, they're on YouTube. I've got a video on draining your air tanks, and I've got a video on anti-gel. So if you're needing more info about this, good place to go is go to those videos and watch them. One thing I want to mention also is that this week, last week was Driver Appreciation Week. This week is Tech Appreciation Week. So show some love. If you're up there in one of our shops, tell one of our techs thank you for what they do. They're working really hard for us. And this is a week that we're showing that appreciation. So on that note, thank you all for what you do. I appreciate all you all. And I'll be here after the meeting over on the side over there if you have any questions. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Well,
Thank you, Trent.
nervous to say anything. All right, it worked. All right, it
There
worked.
you go.
All right, so thank you, Trent. Always a pleasure to have those folks. And again, Tech Appreciation Week. Tell those folks thank you. You know, last week was Driver Appreciation Week, and of course, every week is Driver Appreciation Week. But this week we were highlighting and honoring our techs who are just as part of safety as Dave and I. So
Yeah, no, that job out there they do every day, day in, day out, no matter what the weather is, snow, ice, hot heat, they do a wonderful job here, all of our techs, and we really appreciate them what they do. And it's a tough job, and you got to have some knowledge, and you got to be able to understand computers nowadays. You know, back 15, 20 years ago, you just had to have a set of tools and you can get in there and start learning. But now it's much more technologically advanced, and you got to know how to run a computer. You got to be able to read diagnostics and stuff, and much more over the head than what Dennis and I can do. So they do a great job here, and we appreciate every one of them.
kind of like with safety, you know, Dave has an IT person at his desk every single day. So
It's nice to have one of those just in case, Dennis.
Right.
You end up stealing mine sometimes.
maybe. What do we got up next?
So next, that's a good question. I put my list back in my pocket. I figured you handle this from here on out. But, from our fleet manager side on the refrigerated, we got Brian Jackson. Is Brian here?
He is.
He is. I didn't even look around to see if he was here yet. So great to have him come down. So good morning, Brian.
How is everybody this morning? You guys had a great lineup before me. It's going to be hard to follow payroll. I'm Brian Jackson. I'm a reefer fleet manager here at Prime. Wanted to talk a little bit today about home time. You know, I heard somebody mention snow already. Makes me cringe every time I hear that word, snow and ice. It also makes me think about the holidays. So one thing that I will talk about for just a second is it's super important to be prepared, right? And part of being prepared is planning ahead. You know, the holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas. For us as a fleet manager, it helps us tremendously when we know when you plan on going home. So as early as possible, you know, if you can set plans for, you know, the dates that you're going to be home, the dates that you're going to spend time with your family, you know, if you know you got Thanksgiving dinner with the family on a certain date, the earlier you can let me know that, the better. Helps me be able to prepare for getting you positioned in the country to get you home on time, right? We book a lot of loads. You know, I think Audra said 10,000 drivers. Can you imagine what it takes to get, you know, probably 70% of that, 7,000 drivers home under loads on the holidays? Takes a miracle sometimes. It really does. You know, we try to plan all of you to the best of our abilities to get you home the day you want to be home so that you can enjoy that, you know, relaxing Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner with your family, and also stay profitable while you're out there. This year, you know, remember it's an election year also. You know, I won't go too deep into that. It is super difficult to get every one of you to the county you're supposed to be in to vote. You know, it's a really good idea to get on your state's website. You know, I know for Missouri, it's the Secretary of State website to look up how to apply for an absentee ballot. You know, it's very important that you all vote. Make sure that you understand your state's regulations on doing that. You know, again, get on their website. If you need to apply for an absentee ballot so that you can vote by mail, you know, that would help us out tremendously because there's just absolutely no way we can get you all home that day to vote. So, you know, if you're interested in doing that, please do it. Another thing I'll talk about for just a second, you know, and I think we touched a little bit on this last week, is when you guys go on home time, you know, part of that expectation is securing your equipment when you go on home time. You know, that means truck, you know, getting with your fleet manager on a place to drop your trailer that's secure so that we can make sure that all of our equipment is safe and secure while you all are on home time. You know, again, it's all about communication. That's what I'm here for. You know, make sure that if you're one of my drivers that I work with every day, reach out to me. If you're not, reach out to your fleet manager, communicate with them, let them know when you're going to be going home, have a plan in place on where to drop your equipment and keep it safe. That's super important. That's all I got, unless Dennis has any questions or anybody else.
I don't think I have any other questions. We're going to have you back up here in a week or two, and you're going to talk about, you know, start making plans to get home for the holidays.
I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Let's give Brian a round of applause. You know, that relationship between driver and fleet manager, you guys probably heard me say this ad nauseum, but it's the most important relationship that you're going to have here at Prime. So what do we got next, Dave?
I think next from Leasing, we got Haley. So good morning, Haley.
We got Haley and we got Shelly coming up.
Shelly's joining her. All right.
I think Shelly is a first-time Friday morning speaker. Good morning, Shelly. Good morning, Haley.
Good morning,
Good
Prime
morning.
family. Thank you for having us, Safety. Appreciate it. Hello, good morning. My name is Haley. I work in the leasing department. This is my friend Shelly. We are so excited to be here this morning. First of all, to piggyback on what everybody else has said, I know Driver Appreciation Week was last week. Thank you all for everything that you do. We wouldn't be here without you. Audra really killed it with that. So truly, thank you for everything. I'm going to let Shelly chat really quick about what's going on at the front of the leasing world and kind of some fun, exciting changes. So.
All right, good morning, guys. So I primarily help see company drivers and lease operators upgrades and lease completion into trucks when they're ready. Right now, our wait time is virtually non-existent. We're going to give you a call same day that you get added to our waiting list and get you out there and looking at trucks. I would say also our truck selection is pretty great right now. We have a lot of different varieties to choose from. So that's nice. But I really want to hit home with our online inspections. For some of you that have been out on the road and been leasing for over a year now, you haven't been able to experience the change that we've made with the online inspections. You'll no longer have to do a paper packet on a truck when you start a lease with us. It's improved a lot of things tremendously and made things a lot more efficient. So I actually monitor each and every one of your guys' inspections once you submit them to us. And I do a running report that I give to the shops each week. And I go over anything or any items that are becoming consistent or I can see as possibly a problem. So as you guys probably know, tires are a huge issue, or you guys are very concerned about them, as you should be. So I've gotten with Dalton, the tire bay foreman, and we are working on a video to release with you guys on the online inspections, just to kind of better educate you guys on how we run our tires, what depths that we run, and what to actually look for and what are serious issues and possibly just something that we'll address later down the road. So we are working with our shops very closely now and trying to make sure these trucks are as ready to roll as possible. So that way, when you guys start a new lease, it really cuts down on your downtime and you can get out there and start hauling freight a lot quicker. So we're very excited about the online inspections, and it's a great move as for the leasing department.
Love that. Okay, on online inspections, they have how many days to add to it or adjust to it or put pictures into it or?
Yeah, great question. So it does stay unlocked for 30 days. I send it over to your Prime app the same time that I send your contract over to your app. So that way you have access once you leave here. As most of you know, you can't get up to speed here in the terminal when you're doing that inspection and you're really evaluating the truck. So it gives you some extra time once you get out there and you start hauling freight. If you're noticing anything beyond that point, you're able to add that to the inspection and just better protect you when you turn that truck back into us.
Love that. Okay, one more thing on picking a truck. What time does that list generally like become available, and how does that look like when they are called to look at trucks and stuff?
So we call our waiting list every day at 11. That's also when we'll release any inventory that we have to add to the website for the day. And then I don't know if a lot of you know this, but we are open on Saturdays for a half day, 8 to noon, and we will release the list at 9 and start calling drivers around 9 on Saturdays as well.
Great. Okay. Thanks, Shelley. I just have a few really quick things. So we are in the middle of our truck deal right now. So negotiating and talking to all of our different OEMs. With that being said, ordered trucks on our website. We have temporarily suspended ordering for Peterbilt. We just want to make sure that we have pricing correct and all of the extras correct and everything correct for you when you are going to go on there and order. So don't panic. Don't panic. Everything will work out okay. Peterbilt's will, I assume, come back on the website in a timely manner. Freightliners are still available. There's a few spots left. So if you are needing to place an order, I would encourage you to go ahead and do that. We have about 20, 25 spots left available right now. Truck deals every year kind of take some time. So just be aware of that. With that being said, I'm going to have a caveat and give you some good news. We do have Volvos, brand new Volvos starting to roll in. That is very exciting. I think we have about 50, 55. If you would like to put your name on them, we're going to treat these like an ordered truck. So you do need to be leasing with us for 90 days. And then you can call the leasing department, talk to myself, Haley, Kat, or Chelsea, and we can go ahead and let you know when we expect one of these for delivery. We'll give you some color options. We can't make any extras or changes on the Volvos. Really, it's you can choose the color and when you want the delivery time for those. So that is exciting. I put a little sticky note on here because sometimes I start rambling and forget. I also wanted to let you all know that we have started a Success Leasing social media. So please follow along. It's very new, so give us some grace as we're learning and navigating what you guys would like to see and how that looks. So you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Success Leasing. So that's exciting. Please give us a like. I feel like Dennis is walking me away. You ready for me to be done? Oh, he's just drinking coffee. Okay. And let's see, lease completion. I really want to just remind you guys about this. The whole leasing department loves to celebrate you. It's a wonderful thing when you finish a lease regardless. But truly when you finish a full term 3-year or 4-year lease for flatbed and tanker, we are so appreciative of that. I mean, the time and the commitment and the dedication for you guys to be out there and to be away from your families and hauling freight so that we have food and we have things at our house is truly remarkable. So Success Leasing really wants to thank you for that. So please take advantage of that. You earn 1 night at the Oasis, 3 nights at the Campus Inn. We go to Fire and Ice. We invite your dispatcher, someone from operations. It's really a nice time to be able to get to know you one-on-one, hear your story, understand why you came to Prime, get to know the leasing department. The more we know each other, the better things tend to flow. So please take advantage of that. You can call me directly. I'm happy to get that scheduled for you. The last thing I want to talk about always is retention and rewards, guys. If you have turned in a truck, you are going home, whether you ended a lease or you're just going home for a family, whatever, doesn't matter. You plan to come back. Remember, you have 59 days, guys. That means you have to have a lease signed within the 59 days. So please don't show up on the 59th day trying to sign a lease. Give us some time to get you out, to get you looking at a truck so that you can pick what you want. Everything you earn, all of your longevity and your benefits and your retention and rewards. So your forgiven lease payments, your lower down payment for ACE lease purchases, your money that you're earning from Success and Prime every year, it all goes off of that longevity date, okay? So the first day you sign a lease with Success. So make sure we never go over 59 days. If you guys have any questions at all about Success Leasing or leasing at all, Shelly and I are always happy to help. We will be over here for the remainder of the meeting, or you can come see us. We're at the very, very far part of the Z building. So have a great day. Thank you all for everything you do, and happy Friday.
Great job, Haley. Great job.
Jam-packed meeting today.
Shelley couldn't get her
Oh,
name
you
out.
forgot Shelley.
Couldn't
Okay.
get her name out. So, a lot of the speakers talk about it, and and I know we as a company don't talk about it enough from a company standpoint or an industry standpoint. Folks recognize how important truck drivers are to the industry. They talk about every time that they go to the grocery store, they're thinking about, thank you, truck drivers, for making sure that this bread, this meat, this milk is on the shelf when I need it. These clothes that we wear, these shoes, everything that we use and eat and take from a prescription drug standpoint, it got to our neighborhoods on a truck. Trucking is the only form of mass transit that goes to every single neighborhood in America. So if you're from rural Arkansas and you've got a Dollar General that you shop at, or I think they're called the DGs now, it got there by truck. It didn't fly in on a plane. It didn't scoot on a train. It got there on a truck. So we definitely appreciate the work that you guys provide for the country and even, closer to home, our individual families. So we had a great meeting, full lineup today. We jam-packed it on purpose because we got no Robert and Steve today. They're out doing something different. So great for them. But of course, it's Friday, so we're doned in red. Some folks are Knicks or Eagles. Some folks are Chiefs fans. But we are all grateful, and we remember our folks that are deployed, RED, remember everyone deployed. So if you served this country in uniform, if you defended our freedom, I want to say thank you. If you would stand for just a quick moment for us to properly honor you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. And of course, our IT team over here to my right, Richard and Brienne, any technology related questions, jump in line. They'll be able to get you guys taken care of. I'm going to ask Daryl Hopkins, our president, to come on up and close us out. Hail to the chief. Let's give him a round of applause. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. All right, I'll go fast because we've gone late. First of all, I did wear red, so it's just covered up some. 2, I am not going to have the same flair and color that Audra had. I don't think anybody can top that. But I just want to make sure of a couple things. One, that everybody understands really why we have these breakfast meetings. It's not so everybody gets free breakfast. That's just a benefit. It's really because we're trying to share information. I really hope that everybody listened to the folks that presented, because it's all about how do we make you, Dennis and Dave both said it, how do we make you more successful? How do we make you better? That's the whole point of this meeting. It's sharing information. I hope you're listening and saying, how can I use any of that information presented to benefit me? Whether it's my own personal health or whether it's running my business. Anybody who's ever been in a meeting with me knows that one of the things I always say in our meetings is, how do we get better? What can we do to improve? Because, hey, we're good. We're really good. But if you want to succeed, if you want to win, what are you going to do better tomorrow? Because if you're not getting better, everybody else is, and they'll pass us. So it's always about how do we get a little bit better? And it doesn't have to be big things. It's just, oh, I heard him say something there. I could apply that to what I'm doing. And if I do that, tomorrow I'll do it just a little better. I'll get a little better CSA score. I'll do just a little bit. That's all it is. It's doing that every day. So, and things are getting better. So I'll wrap up with this. I watch our load count. Our load count this past week was about 1,000 loads more than it was just over a month ago. That's improvement. Now, it's not the freight economy, I'll tell you right now. It's our customers giving us more share. Robert and Steve aren't here because they're both with 4 of our biggest customers right now. We're spending time with them. We have relationships, but it's all built around the fact that you guys keep giving them good service, and so they're shifting freight. There's not a lot more freight out there yet, but they're starting to move it our way. That's because we keep getting better. Keep improving your service. Keep taking up one more notch. We'll get more freight. That's what's happening. We see it right now in the numbers. So things are getting better. Hang in there. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you all very much for what you do. And please be safe out there.